Welcome to another episode of The Warm Up. I am beyond excited to introduce our guest today. He's garnered over 1 million followers. He's a social media legend. He's Irish, and he's going to be covering today his bulletproof strategy for 2024 that he's currently using to blow up your social media this year. This is going to be the personal branding 101 experience. So if you're struggling to grow your brand and grow your business this year, this is the podcast episode that you want to be listening to. So without further ado, I am beyond excited to introduce our guest. Welcome, Rob Lipsett.
Yeah, perfect. This is way better. Because way to go. First of all, in-person podcasts are always, zero latency. But when you're doing one and there's just that little bit of lag, like it's always just, you can't be snappy. This is absolutely perfect. I'm going to have to start doing it online because I've completely maxed out guests. Dorian Yates on as guest number 3, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. But in the summer, it's good. You get a lot of people passing through. But during these months, you're kind of like, I might have to travel a little bit for them or just start doing them online.
Yeah, mate, to be fair, see, I feel your pain. Living in Ireland, obviously you know yourself, mate, the scene is very, very small. Like, if you want anybody for anything, any a social networking, you've got 4 people to pick from, and you left, so there's now 3.
Yeah. So I always say there's 3 full-time fitness YouTubers, like me, Caroline, and Glenn.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. There's loads of people doing TikTok and short form and reels. To do long form content, the bar is so low.
Yeah,
it's just no one showed up to the race. So I always encourage more Irish people, and that's where most of my traffic comes from.
You're following? Yeah.
Maybe 90% of it. No one has ever stopped me in the street and be like, hey, I love your Instagram photos. Everyone's always like, hey, Rob, love the videos, what's up, something to say about it. There's only so much you can say about an ab selfie, but people can which about all your videos. So I always encourage Irish people to get on YouTube. I've been saying that for years, and still no one's done it.
See, to be fair, I did try to break it about 7 years ago. Actually, this is now the second time we're meeting, so the picture I sent you before, man, it was fucking crazy when I found that. I vlogged that whole trip. I think that was the first time Alfie came to Ireland. Yeah, it was way back when. That was crazy. The queues for that were just astronomical.
So 3,500 people showed up to that event. Absolutely nuts. We were we did a little world tour. We did Amsterdam, London, Dublin, and then Toronto and 3 cities in America. The Ireland one was the biggest one.
Really?
It's absolutely wild. And when I was talking to Christian recently, we were talking about sales and everything. When we were going through the top countries who buy Alphalete, obviously America number 1, then Canada, then UK, and then it's Ireland.
Yeah, let's go on.
Size of the country, it's so small. But the fitness scene here, the amount of people that go to the gym and are into that whole culture is just absolutely huge. And I do miss it. I'm going back home, not this weekend, but next weekend. I would miss it. I would miss it more if it wasn't so easy to get to. If I lived in Australia or America, I'd maybe feel a little bit homesick because it's takes 3 days to get home, essentially, to travel.
Yeah. Where you're what, a 2-hour flight or something like that?
Exactly. And you also there's a 1-hour time difference. So when you fly to Ireland, you go back an hour. So it literally seems like no time. I've done days where I'd need to go into the bank and sign something in person. And I'll fly out in the morning at 7 a.m. and fly back at 9 p.m.
That's how you know you've made it. I'll fly into the bank and just a different time zone, but it's fine.
Yeah, so I would feel more homesick if I didn't live in Europe and was a little bit further away and not as accessible. But the fact that I know that I can go home in 2 or 3 hours makes it very easy. And I always have family coming out here, and I dip home regularly.
All right, sweet. So, in terms of moving out to Mars, for me, the scene is either Dubai, Marbella, or Miami for the fitness scene specifically. Also, Marbella is so accessible. You don't really need any visas and stuff. Did you notice a big lifestyle change moving there in terms of accessibility for everything, and even leveling up your content and stuff?
Yeah. So, like you said, with there's 3 places in the world if you want like sun year round, really good gyms and an entrepreneurial community, and that's more or less English speaking. Yeah, they're the 3. Even though half of Miami speaks Spanish, and Dubai, Emirates. Here it's crazy. Even all the locals are perfect at speaking English. But so with Dubai, I actually just got my residency there.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's just pretty easy thing. Set up a holding company there and get your what's it called? Your Emirates ID and everything.
Is that the next big move there?
No, I just for kind of business reasons and get a little Dubai company going there.
I get it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, keep them guessing. Where's his bank accounts?
Yeah. Just from me, you have to just in all like the fucking safe havens.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Keep them guessing. But they're like the 3 places that if you want to live this lifestyle that you got to go. And when I went to Marbella, we actually only planned on going here for like 1 month. Because it was peak lockdown. We're like, we'll just wait for the gyms to come back open. Where's the gyms open in Europe? Where do I kind of know? Okay, we'll get an Airbnb for a month in Marbella. And we just like fell in love with it. We realized that it's not a place that you go and get pissed. Of course you can if you want. And that's what it used to be for me. When I was 18, I worked at a bar out here, and I would just get blackout every night as a young lad. Then I came back recently, and it had completely changed. Like, it now has the biggest gyms in Europe. It has like 5 gym memberships. Like, it's like healthy cafes and meal prep everywhere. And I'm like, oh, there's another side of this place now. So I'm like super productive here. I did like a competition prep here. And when we first moved here, like, we went out loads. We were all excited. But then like you go everywhere and you get used to it.
It just becomes home.
Yeah, it becomes home. And like, people are like, oh, is there not loads of distractions? Like, no. I actually, because it's so sunny and so nice, I would rather wake up fresh in the Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and go for a swim and go for a big walk and a coffee. So once you kind of get it out of your system, it's not too much of a distraction.
Yeah, it's definitely on the to-do list for me. I think I'm toying with, either Marbella or Dubai. It's one of the 2. It's the tax benefits of Dubai and the supercars a little bit that's kind of pulling me that direction.
Yeah, well, you can get a little bit of both, like what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, this is it. I know it's kind of you getting the best of all worlds. The thing is with Dubai, though, that is a wee bit more, I suppose, tempting, is that the networking is so good there. Like, I know you're good friends with Chesty Mike, and his podcast, and he seems to have like these consistently good guests all the time, and it doesn't seem to like really run out. For me, for you doing podcasting, it is tough to try to get good guests on consistently. And I feel like it's the new vlogging. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, but it seems to be taking over. Everyone's doing a podcast now.
Yeah. So one of the reasons I switched to doing, well, I still mainly do YouTube videos, but one of the reasons I started doing vlogs is because it's a little bit more mature and it's easier to do. So like, you're having a nice formal sit down conversation instead of like running around with a camera and eating 10,000 calories.
Yeah. The golden era of YouTube was fucking 10,000 calorie challenges.
I'm like, you're fucking 32 now. Like, come on. Start being a bit more grown up. And like, so for example, when me and Mike met last month in Dubai, like we didn't film a vlog, we just filmed a podcast because it's really nice to just be able to sit down with someone for an hour. And so it's a lot easier to do. You don't have to prepare it. You don't have to go like to 10 different locations. You don't have to like plan out the whole video. You just sit like what we're doing now. You just sit, just having chat. Oh, so it's really easy. And you've seen the rise of people like, Joe Rogan, Lex Friedman, Chris Williamson, just, people love having me as well, love having a podcast just playing throughout the background, while they're cooking or driving, whereas a YouTube video, you have to sit and watch. So I still think, YouTube is king, but having a podcast, the industry is booming and there's a lot of pros to it that YouTube videos don't have.
What podcast do you listen to at the minute?
So the ones I just named a lot, Lex Friedman, Chris Williamson, Joe Rogan, and then I kind of like, they're kind of like my base. And Ruben as well. He's got a little bit of trouble.
Oh, he's the GOAT.
He's the man. Go, drop that protocol. Drop that protocol. My God.
Okay, that's better sleep hacks, that.
I know, yeah. That's proof that his methods work. But on that, like, who gives a shit? Like, it was all just a load of hearsay, a load of like, she said this, he said that. Wasn't doing anything illegal. You can laugh at it even. Girls do it the whole time to men. Whole situation's just funny, and it's so weird that NY Mag wrote like such an emotional hit piece on him. Like they just went in on his personal life. Super strange, but that was a funny week on Twitter. But yeah, so I listen to him, and then I'll just kind of I'll go see the guests that they have, and I'll monkey branch onto them. So like, you know, they're my foundation podcast, and then I'll end up watching their guest podcast. You know what I mean?
Okay,
so that's how I basically find podcasts to listen to.
Oh, so yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Chris Williamson. He's leveling up massively at the minute.
It's got to be the fastest growing podcast.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
It's just hit like a snowball effect that, you know, he spoke about this, that his first few years were very slow, and then, you know, shit just blows up when you get to that point.
Yeah, I think it's just consistency, isn't it? You know, at like nowadays with social media, like back, I'm going to very likely throw myself in the same bucket as you. So back when we started, you continued, I just stopped with the whole YouTube thing. You know, it was awkward and kind of socially frowned upon to be walking about with, you know, the vlogging camera. Now everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah, it's bucket. It is massive. I remember I used to be walking about with, what was it, a G7X Mark II. I don't know if you had that one.
Yeah, that's what I built my whole channel on.
Yeah, I mean, it was legendary. It was so good. Like you pressed the button, the thing came out, unreal.
Yeah, they have a G7X Mark III, but like there's hardly a difference. There's quite a difference between the Mark I, that's what I started on, and then the Mark II. It was like way better. Not that much difference with the third one. I still like when I'm like just doing a travel blog and point and click, I still use it.
Yeah, it's just like a wee run and gun camera, isn't it? It's so good.
Exactly, yeah.
So with like social media now versus maybe what we've grown up to, like we're in our 30s, we're feeling old. I don't know, well, maybe you're not, I am, but it's hard to keep up, I think, with a lot of the trends. And I think branding now, like social media branding, like brand presence is so important. What way do you think like social media is going now in like 2024, 2025? So
that's an interesting one. So first of all, physically, I don't feel old. Like I feel the exact same. I mean, I'm in better shape than I ever have been. But mentally, I'm like, I feel more pressure. I'm like, fuck, it's time to make it. You know,
yeah.
I got to make it. I want to have kids and a family and everything. I'm like, with time, you feel that little bit of pressure, and life gets a little bit less light. You're like, oh, okay, shit, it's time to get serious. You know, the clock is running out. We don't live forever. You know, I need to do everything that I need to do. There's less time to waste.
The Playboy kind of era is over, basically.
Get serious, you know? Yeah, that is a good thing as well. But so I feel on that. And then in terms of social media, branding nowadays, I see a lot of like CEOs and brand owners. They're now showing themselves more on camera, and they've realized the importance of personal branding, especially with shit like AI and all coming into it. Like people want that personal touch. My favorite example of this would be, of course, Christian Guzman, literally lives and breeds Alphalete, and also George Heaton lives and breeds represent. Really good example. Ben Francis posts constantly, always throwing up reels. He's so on front of the brand. I'd like there's just countless. It's like if you're a CEO nowadays, or if you own a brand, you can't afford to not be on camera, because your competition is doing that. Your competition is out there. So it's like, you can be a behind the scenes CEO. It's going to be better if you're not. So I think nowadays, putting yourself out there, it doesn't matter if you want to be an influencer or a brand owner or whatever. I think putting yourself out there and speaking to the camera is one of the most important skills you can have.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, I think everybody nowadays just wants to know who's behind the camera, who's behind the picture, who's behind whatever. And they want to know, I know people that will be listening in this will know you as kind of Rob the PT, Rob the influencer, Rob, all these accolades that you have, massive accolades, public speaker, best-selling author. But they're also just going to be like, oh, but what's he like? What's his thoughts on this? And they just want to know.
Yeah, that's the main thing. And here's a really good, right? So if there's any trainers or brand owners or anything listening out there, here's my biggest tip for you. Okay, put yourself in the role of the customer. You log on to a fucking website and put your card details in. and hope for the best. What the hell? Could like the amount of trust you have to build,
Trust, yeah.
get someone to put in their actual bank details onto your website. Like, actually think about that for a second. You have to build an insane amount of trust to do that. So if people see this like blank website, they've no ambassadors, they've no athletes, they've no CEO putting their face to brand. If it's literally just a website, it probably is a scam.
Yeah. The Alibaba t-shirt days where you're like drop shipping.
So if you're trying to sell products online, building trust is the number one thing. And that is why YouTube and doing podcasts has been my biggest source of traffic, is because people say, oh, they know exactly what I'm like. And even then they meet me in person at events. It's the same thing, as we have as well. And so once you do that, that will beat all your sales tactics, anything, building trust and authority and putting yourself out there and letting your customer get to know what you're like as a person. Like, text doesn't cut it. You can't hear someone's accent, their hand movements, everything. To get a good idea of someone, you have to be talking online, on video, and even better if you can do in-person events as well. So that's my biggest tip for building a community and making an online business. That's the number one.
Would you be looking at, because you're coming from heavily like YouTube background, it's kind of, I suppose, dripped into, Instagram partially to grow that, and then obviously it's grew on its own. Social media is very time consuming. If you want to do everything really, really well, if you were, if somebody was to ask you now, you were to give advice to somebody who is maybe stuck at a point where I think most people nowadays have an Instagram to some degree. So where would you say that the main focus points should be going, if they're trying to really build a brand? Would it be TikTok? Would it be shorts on YouTube? Like, where do you think the focus is at the minute?
Yeah, so I still always think YouTube is king, and it's just, you can even upload shorts now that get really good views. So like, okay, so here's the thing. Okay, there's two things I'm about to break down. Gary Vee has a really good method, and he was like, from one piece of content, you can get like 20 posts. And I do this, okay? So I'll record the landscape YouTube video, okay? The last one I did was the truth behind fat loss diets. And in that video, it's a 20-minute video where I break down just every single diet, popular diet, and I go on why they work, and I call them out, the pros and cons. And so now what I'm doing right now, I send that to my editor, and he is getting like 20 reels from that, because you can chop landscape into vertical, but you can't chop vertical into landscape.
Vertical into landscape, yeah.
Number one at the start of your foundation is landscape long form content, be it podcasts, whatever, YouTube, okay? And you can chop that down into so many reels, okay? And then, so you have let's say you get 15 vertical videos out of that. Okay, now you have 15 vertical videos for not only Instagram, you have TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and I also post them on Twitter as well. If you want, you can post them on LinkedIn too. So like 15 multiplied by 4 platforms, you're up to like 80 posts or something.
At Jundish, you reuse them on all the different...
Very different audience. Yeah, completely. And like sometimes I'll post something on TikTok and it'll go viral and it'll get really shitty views on Instagram. It's just a slot machine. It's just a bit of luck.
Yeah, it is.
If an Explorer page just puts you on. So right now we've got like 80 pieces of content. We've got one really good long form. We've got loads of reels from it. And now what I'll do is, so do you have the captions app? Like,
yeah, man, it's so sick. It's so, AI is like a game changer.
So, you obviously know then when you put in a reel and you put text on the screen, it gives you the transcript. So I will literally post that as a text on Threads and also Twitter.
Okay, that's sick.
So just from doing one YouTube video, you've got vertical on every platform, and you've also got text. If you even want, I'm shitty on email. If you want, you can put that in your email list as well. So see how it literally, you start up here at landscape on YouTube, and then you go right down all the vertical, all the platforms, and then you literally end up on text. So you do that one piece of content that takes 30 minutes to do, if you can, and then you've got like just 100 pieces of content. So that's the best way to do it. I learned that from Gary Vee. And then another great way like to go about things is just batch record content. Get heavily caffeinated. Fasted in the morning. Get 5 t-shirts. 5 t-shirts and just like knock out a load of like 30-second reels.
All right. So trip to Zara, get the new kits in. And
Yes, hopefully, come on, we want to look like serious fitness professionals. We have to wear gym gear that's really tight.
Well, then again, this is it. Although the whole oversized fits now are kind of making a big appearance.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I still like this athlete. I still like the more fitted stuff, but Christian was saying that like oversized stuff is even more popular. I think people have like gotten away from that like 2016 body power skinny tracksuit era.
Body power. Oh my God, do you remember body power?
Yeah,
That was sick. We had the original like Gymshark Alphalete tracksuits and stuff, and the stringers back when string like nobody wears stringers as much anymore. Those were like the goat back in the day, like Ziz aesthetics.
I used to order Z's stringers from Australia and pay like
Z's.
£100 for shipping. I'm not even joking.
But mate, sexiest fucker in the gym at that point. Do you know what I mean? Once you've got that on you, you feel it's unstoppable.
I love those pictures. It's so funny. But yeah, so I was just at the Arnold Expo like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so that was, it was just the exact same as Body Power. It was in the NEC in Birmingham. And it was awesome. It was completely full. It was loads of booths, a lot of life there. And yeah, I was there with Ghost and yeah, OG Body Power feels. But it's funny. Young LA were the new Gymshark stand.
Yeah, they've just taken off.
Crazy. Like at first I thought like the brand was like, I was like, oh, what's this? Young LA. And it was a bit like kind of, how do I say, like hipster or not a hipster, like, I don't know. I just like didn't really understand what they were going for. And like, I was like the name, I was like, why do I want like young kids in LA? I was like, what is this? But look, they've just absolutely smashed it now. They've got like the best athletes. Like they've got like John Jones and UFC fighters, and the clothes are actually, the quality's definitely gone up. So fair play to them, they've just put in the work.
Yeah, definitely have. They I got one of their jackets. They did a collab with Alpha League. Funny enough, it was a big collab. Yeah, mate, it's still, the quality is like,
I don't even know
that. Do you not? You know, like, oh, what am I on? What can I say? But no, it was fuck,
I think it is. Like I have.
I think they were limited, but I don't know how many. I don't know how many of them. But mate, the quality was really, really cool. Speaking of brands and stuff, obviously you're a athlete of Alphalete, one of the, probably I would say in the top 3, along with Young LA and Gymshark, in the whole fitness space. How do you find kind of working alongside the likes of Christian, who is from what I can see on social media, a workhorse when it comes to just branding, and I don't even know if the man sleeps.
It's absolutely insane. Like, so he lives up to the hype, He's the hardest worker that I've ever seen or been around in my life. Yeah. Like you get these kids that are like posting pictures of their laptop at 6 a.m. and they're like, I'm grinding. Christian doesn't even do that. Like he hasn't gone to sleep. Like,
really?
It's just absolutely insane. I've never seen a fellow work harder. He's the real deal. He's now one of my best friends, and it's been crazy, growing with him, and also just kind of, growing up together, because we met when we were so young. I was the first, me and Russ Swole were the first athletes, but he's now left.
Yeah.
He's left athlete. I'm officially now, the first one that's still going with everyone. Yeah. And it's been life-changing, like especially when they gave me, my contract has, increased over time, but when they first took me on, like it was like kind of life-changing money for me, because I didn't really have much money at the time. I was just starting out. And so for them to also give me a chance and promote me in the industry, I definitely couldn't have gotten to where I am without Christian and Alfleet. So I owe a lot to him, and yeah, he's done a lot for me in my journey, and it's crazy. And I've also learned a lot, and in turn, like met even more great people, like not just Christian, but everyone in the brand, they sponsor some amazing people, and they also like employ some amazing people in the offices and behind the scenes. And I'll go to Alphaland in Texas for like 3 weeks and just hang out there. It's like, it's a really
ecosystem there.
That's such a good word. That's such a good word to describe it. Like, it's like calm. It's crazy, and yeah, so I'm very grateful for all that. And it's surreal to kind of think back on.
Has that had any kind of direct impact on any of your brothers? Obviously, you've got Fuel Cakes. So like, has that work ethic that he has that fire, that kind of, I know, I always find for me, whenever I'm surrounded by people that are kind of doing big, it kind of makes me be like, oh shit, like, how much should I be doing? I don't know if you get that, you know, because you're already obviously at levels above a lot of people, you know. How do you find that?
So one thing I always say, and I've made sure to do it, is surround yourself with people more successful than you. So like the people that like I'll go on holidays with, or like record a video with, like Christian, Max, Mike, you know, I'm like, even David Head of Beast, you know, he lived in,
But yeah, he's like, yeah.
who, like I'd hang out with him often. He's absolutely killing it. Like every one of my friends is like more successful than me. Like way more. So I'm like, oh my God, it always pushes me to like wake up and get going. You know, I'm like, oh, I don't want to be the loser of the group. So it absolutely does push you. And it's like, yeah, you know, they say surround yourself with successful people. The real hack is more successful people, like people that are not on your level, above you, because that'll show you what they're doing every day, and that'll, you know, force you to be like, get up off your ass and get going. But yeah, you know, the guys like Max is another one who comes across like goofy and all jokey online. Dude's savage. Dude works crazy hard.
Yeah, if you met Max and you didn't know that he owned sour strips, mate, fucking hell, like that's a sharp contrast. But he's fucking took off like with his sour strips brand the past couple of years. It's mental.
It's crazy. And so that was actually one of my original inspirations to start Fuel Cakes, because I was like, right, I'm sponsored by Ghost. I don't care about sponsoring a supplement company. It's like so overdone.
Yeah.
So, and I can't, because they'll, you know, lose my Ghost relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's the same with Alphalete. You know, I don't care about designing my own gym gear. I'm really happy with Alphalete. So I'm like, what can I do that's like something a little bit different, a little bit fun, that it isn't going to impact the current business relationships that I have? And then Max was like, well, you know, sour candy was a thing on my channel, so I started that. Kristen was like, I drank a white Monster every day, so he started 3D energy drinks. He was like, what do you do every day? You know, what is like one of your most viewed videos? What's like a little joke on your channel? And I'm like, oh, how to make protein pancakes.
Like that's your thing.
Yeah, they're like, oh, make that. And then so I did. You know, they sell out every time. And so they're sold out at the moment. And so now I'm just kind of trying to think, like, what's my next move with it? Like, I want to make different products. I want to make, like, ready to eat, as in, like, you know, just straight out of a packet. You know, pancakes or bars, like something that can be in garage stations in Ireland. Like, I think just being able to see that would be insane. Also want to make, like, nut butter, sugar-free syrup. You know, just go down that whole kind of food route, and one day hopefully see it in supermarkets. But it is super difficult to do. Like it's
like jumping through a lot of hoops in terms of like food hygiene and all the rest of it. Like
this exactly, and also like I'm so used to digital business. Like my main source of, you know, income would be like coaching and my app game plan. That is just like on autopilot. I don't hold anything. I don't have to pay like shipping or taxes or customs fees or design the ingredients and take the sample and, oh no, that's not good. See you another month. That's another month.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so used to like instant cash pretty much to say, and it, like a smooth running business, that when I'm doing this like physical thing, I'm like, oh, is this?
It's so frustrating because you're like, it's so slow to get like.
I know, but it's something that I'll always just keep taking over. Like I've never even taken any money from it. I always just put it back into like buying stock. That's another thing as well. And like, you know, at the moment I'm getting the garden renovated and I got a wedding coming up, and then I'm like, I'm spending 20-30 grand a year, like every fucking week. So yeah, that's something that I need to find the time now in the next month to focus on and, you know, kind of level up a little bit. But it's an interesting journey, and I've learned more from that than like any other business venture.
It's big boy moves, man. It's big boy moves. You know,
physical thing, like getting the actual thing in your hand and other people's hands. It's a lot more difficult than selling an ebook.
Yeah, definitely. You know, starting out from a PT in the gym floor to that is it makes you feel like you're kind of growing up a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, seriously.
But with, you know, going for, well, obviously you just touched actually on you're getting married, so that's exciting. How you feeling about it?
Really excited. Like I'm still kind of in the honeymoon period. So like, you know, I asked Linda in September, and then what month is it now? It's April. So like, hasn't even been a year, and we're getting married in September again. Oh no, sorry, I asked her to marry me in August, and said we're doing it in September. So we'll just have been engaged 13 months. which is quite like, most people wait.
It's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, but no, really excited. We're going to get married here in Marbella. You're actually getting the first exclusive confirmation.
Oh, sick.
We only like confirmed it like a few days ago at
no.
in Boho Club on the Golden Mile. It's a really nice hotel, and we're just going to have like 100 people there, and then do day 2 in the villa. So like that kind of cuts the cost of like renting out another venue because fucking shit's expensive. And so that's why I'm like renovating the garden right now, just so there's like enough space for everyone to kind of come and party and hang around the pool. So I'm looking at it as saving money, kind of.
Yeah. It's like girl math, is it? Boy math?
Property math, wedding.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I'm excited, and I'm excited for this next phase of my life. I really want to have kids. And be a dad, and I also want to be a young dad. I've had a lot of like. Thought about this a lot. Like, of course, it's more fun to delay it and walk around and travel for a while. But I'm just gonna regret it when I'm like, let's say I have kids and I'm 32 now. Let's say I have kids at 40. Like, when that kid is 10, I don't want to be 50. When that kid's like 20, I don't want to be like 60. I want
you want to be able to like play with your kids and
and you want to kind of like be a bit more relatable to your kids. I hope. I'm still doing like YouTube and Instagram and podcast. And when I've got a kid, like Matt does fitness.
Matt does fitness, nailed it. He nailed it with Lucas.
Mike was even telling me, he was like, he went on holidays with like, Luca and Matt and all. He was like, he is such a good dad. Like he just gets his kids so involved, and his kids view him as a superhero. Well, he's literally a gladiator now.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, I seen that actually. Yeah.
So crazy. But so his kids view him as like a superhero, and I'm like, I want to be a young Jack's dad. So in order to do that, want to get married and get things rolling. So I'm really excited for that in the next chapter of my life. And people are always like, they're going to think that I'm going to like stop doing YouTube and stop doing the fitness thing. Hell no. The biggest podcaster in the world is 55. Joe Rogan. He's literally.
This is it. Yeah. It gives you a whole another angle as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the relatability.
Yeah, and so like my audience has grown with me a lot. So when I was like starting YouTube at 22, my audience would have been like maybe like 18, 19 on average. Now when I go into my analytics, it's all late 20s, 30s. And it's all like it's like 95% men. So it's all like guys that want to build businesses, live a good life, get jacked, and just improve their life in every way. So, it's interesting how your life grows with you. They want to see me get married. They want to see me have kids. They want to see me build businesses. It's no longer just about like calculating your macros.
Mate, funny you should say that. The first video, when I first stumbled upon it, I think you had about, like, we're going way back between 5,000 and 10,000 subs. And mate, I don't know if you remember this, the whiteboard, and you're like, this is how we're going to break down, how to calculate your calories and stuff.
Yes, that was like my first video. Like, I think it got over 10,000 views. Yeah, pop 10,000.
Back then, it popped.
Back then, but that was like one of my first videos, man. So I'm at the stage where I'm like, do I just like make all? Because I've made a video on it.
Do it again? Yeah.
I'm like, do I just do it again?
Yeah. Bigger whiteboard.
Exactly. Get the next generation. But so that's why like a lot of people now, they just want to see like vlogs, what you're up to, and kind of what ventures you're into, because a lot of my crowd, they know it already.
It's the Sam Sulek effect. He's like that whole vlogging, like bare bones vlogging. I still don't get it. Like,
I get it. I get it. Like I understand that people want, like, they love the consistency. He's just a chill dude. He's like 1 in a million in terms of how jacked he is at that age.
Yeah.
And he's well-spoken, and he just like, he still drives his like, old car and just goes to the gym. And I'd say he's making $500,000 per month. Like, he's making it alone from
definitely. AdSense.
AdSense would be like $250K, probably more. And then like sponsors commission and affiliate codes would be another like $250. And I say like the supplement company he's with is paying him like $50 to $100K per month. So I definitely think he's clearing like $500,000 per month, maybe more. It wouldn't surprise me. So the fact that he's just like still the exact same in video one is a credit to him. I actually met him at the Arnold's. Yeah,
really?
yeah. Just as I was checking out of my hotel, he was in the booth across from me all weekend, and like he was just swamped. Didn't want to bother him. And then, yeah, just as I was checking out of my hotel, I met him at breakfast. Super chill dude.
Yeah, I seen mate, he just gets mobbed, but he's so chill. Like he doesn't really dress for any particular occasion. He just kind of turns up as is.
That's another one. Yeah, he was wearing this like big baggy purple
Yeah.
tee, looked like Primark or something.
We had Primark's went up like quite a lot. Like they're still better now.
I like Primark.
Yeah.
I made
so-
a bit of comp.
Oh yeah, well I knew that. The thing you were saying about you won't have kids and stuff, I've noticed, and I don't know if it's kind of because a lot of you guys are in the same, I suppose, conversations, and you're the same age bracket. But obviously, Christian and Heidi are wanting to have kids in the near future. Obviously, you're talking about maybe not imminently, but in the near future. I've seen Sebum, obviously is going through that whole thing. It just seems to be everyone's having babies at the moment or planning to, and Max and his fiance to be, like everyone seems to be just growing up.
Yeah, it's like a trend. Like one of your friends does it, you're like, oh shit, I gotta do it.
And maybe I'm gonna have to do it.
And then it's a knock-on effect. It's like a domino effect. It's the same with like marriages. When one of your mates or a few people in your friend group propose, you're like, oh shit, I might as well do it. But with that said, there's no pressure. Everyone should move on their own timeline and do what's right for them. But then at the same time, like people think that you've got infinite time, and it's like that's not true. That's one of the things that like I hate, and I see like Gary Vee say it, and it's like it's just not true. He's like, it doesn't matter if you start at 21 or 31. We're all in this together. That's not true. The earlier you start, like if I started YouTube now instead of at 22, I'd have another 10 years of work ahead of me. It's just not the same.
Yeah, and plus you're not as relatable to the younger generation.
Move at your own timeline, but also start soon. Start as soon as you can on whatever idea you want to do. Even if that idea is having a family or starting a YouTube channel or going to the gym, whatever it is, you should just start now.
So just start making babies.
That's it. Start making babies, start making videos, start making gains.
So what made you I don't know how I'm going to guess you're well familiar with this because obviously you're listening to all the same podcasts as I am. And social media kind of goes in these like phases where there's different big hitting topics coming up. So like for a while it was biohacking. Then it was like the whole red pill, toxic masculinity space. What made you kind of opt for, maybe going down the more traditional route, get married and not going for the essentially like demi alpha, like fuck bitches, gotta work, build it, and just do that whole thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so first of all, I grew up with like 3 older sisters, and they were like my best friends growing up, and so they've always taught me to like respect women, and women are the best thing in the world. Like they're the reason men build businesses. I saw a really good quote. It goes, no guy would bother driving a supercar if women didn't exist.
Yeah, no, literally. But the thing is, they don't even care that much.
If planet Earth was just a bunch of dudes, we'd all just be in our pajamas.
Pushing big rocks off cliffs and be like, wow.
But look, all jokes aside, I love women. You should be very respectful. And again, I think the traditional route is what's going to make you truly happy as a man. Like, not even from a social position, from a biological evolutionary position. That's what we're like literally put on earth to do, is to reproduce and carry on your bloodline and your legacy. Like if you don't do that, the world literally ends. So it's like intrinsically wired into us to literally create life. So, I think it's like if going against nature is you're going to be quite unhappy in life. But yeah, the red pill community is funny because it actually like there's a lot of 90% of it's like bang on. Like 90% of it is like really good information, and then it's just 10% goes like crazy too far and like ruins and gets misogynistic and like ruins the whole rest.
Yeah, it's just like extremist.
Yeah, extremist, which like I get like sometimes it's just a joke, but people will take it seriously.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely take it sometimes a little bit too far. Like, but yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying though about the whole like. I think ultimately we are meant to be with essentially like one person. I don't know if you notice direct benefits of this, but like, see when you're chasing tail If you're not from Ireland, chasing tail means like you're basically trying to get some monies. You know, when you don't have that to worry about and you've got, you know, stability in your own home, you can focus so much more on all the bigger stuff at hand, like your businesses, your health, like everything.
Oh man, let me tell you. So I've always been like a relationship guy before Linda. You know, I was in a 6-year relationship, and then when that ended, I was single for about like 3 years. So from age like 25 to 27, yeah, that was exactly it. Actually, I was just single and like dating, DMing, and like it's like hours into it. Like, you know, you're on your screen time is like hours.
DJing in the DMs, just messaging everybody.
I was like, I had spinning blades on a rotation, but it just takes up so much time and distraction that from like time that you could be, you know, working and putting those minutes towards yourself really. And then, you know, you'll just end up kind of going out more. You go drinking on dates, you go on nights out, and yeah, you're always just kind of like, yeah, you're on the prowl pretty much. So having a girl that supports your mission and that you can just chill with, doesn't like force you, hey, I want to go out, you know, doesn't do any of that bullshit, actually low supportive. Like, so this is like upstairs, right? This is the upstairs. This is my office. And like, so when I'm like, hey, all right, I'm going upstairs for a few hours. I'm going to not see you for a few hours, you know. I'm going to just zone in and just shut off the world. Linda's like, great. She's like, yes, you go.
But you need that, man. You really, really need that. There's nothing worse than someone being like, oh, but like, I just need to see you every single minute. Like, there's nothing worse than that. Like, you need to have time to miss each other.
Yeah. And you just need a girl to just completely support the mission, you know. No, you work too much. No, don't do that. Just like, yes, do it. Let's go. Yeah, that's what you need. But yeah, you know, I'm in a really happy place right now.
Oh man, I'm glad I'm really am. So, you know, you've built your house, you're doing the garden up, you're getting married. Is there any time now or in the past that really sticks out to you that you've had that is like your I've made it moment? Or maybe there's been more than one. Like, is there one that really, really stands out to you, or do you think that's still to come?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that like 2 days ago.
Oh really?
It was honestly, I actually think about it the whole time. And so it was honestly, I was about like 25 or 26. And I was like, so I've made it for a long time now, you know. I didn't have a house or didn't have like as much money then or as much connections. It was just when I had like just complete freedom. I'd been doing like the kind of fitness coaching YouTube thing for like 3 or 4 years. And I just felt, I think I was like on holidays in Ibiza at the time or something. And I was just like chilling with a group of friends on a boat. And I didn't have to go to work the next day. And, you know, I didn't have to worry what was in my account. And I just had like zero worries. And I was around like really cool people. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is it. This is
what I'm striving for.
Right here. I'm like, I've officially made it. I'm really happy. I'm not worrying about the future. I'm not worrying about the past. Just present. I was like, took a minute to look around me and I'm like, this is perfect. So yeah, it was many, many years ago. I was about like 26 or something.
Actually, I like kind of hearing these types of moments. For me, it was something similar. I was on a holiday and it's one of the times where you can actually just sit back and be present and look around you and be like, holy shit, I've got myself here. It's such a like unparalleled feeling.
Yeah, I was like, if I just like make no more progress in the rest of my life.
Yeah. If I just sit right here on this beach, on this boat, I'm fucking set.
I'd be like, you know, if I stagnate right here, I'm like, cool.
Yeah. Just run out of gas. I'm like, perfect.
It's just like I kind of ticked off every goal that I set out for myself. I'm like, good fitness business, complete freedom is the main thing. Like, you know, freedom to not have to like clock in and you don't have like a really stressful, you don't have to be here and be there, because that's where I started. And I literally fucking had dark thoughts about my life. Like I hated my life so much. And so I'm like, if I just like never have to go back to there, well then, you know, I've made it, you know.
Unreal, Mark. Unreal. Okay. So we're coming to the end. We, favorite question I kind of have been asking people. I did actually admittedly cop this from Chris Williamson, quite like it, but I only ask specific people. Top 10 favorite exercises to live by for the rest of your life.
Awesome. So I've been asked this, right? And I think I've got the best answer. Okay. So when I saw like other guys answer this question, they're like throwing out random stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a logical approach, and I'm going to like view the different movements that my body can do and just tick them off. So first of all, we have push. So let's do dumbbell press. Second of all, we have vertical press. So we have an overhead press. So I'm going to do overhead barbell press. Then let's go through it, right? Then we got a horizontal row. So I'm going to do chest supported row. Then we have a vertical row. So I'm going to do weighted pull-ups. And then so we pretty much ticked off like every
The whole upper body.
Yeah. So now let's go on to legs. So how many is that? I think
it was 4 or 5. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, those 4. So now we go on to legs. Let's do like a leg pushing movement. So let's do squats. Then we'll do like a hip hinge movement. So let's do like Romanian deadlifts or just conventional deadlifts, whichever one you want. So we're on 6 now.
6, yeah.
So then number 7, now we have pre-isolation. We have a few isolation movements to play around with. So let's do some arms. Let's do bicep curls. Let's do let's do some quad extensions, leg extensions. Let's do some triceps. So we got just straight up push downs. And then let's do some hamstring curls. And then I think, do we have one left?
Cardinal sin, mate. You left your house out.
10. There's number 10. So that's it. When I go through, like if you just had those 10 exercises and you did them and progressed at them, your physique would be absolutely sick. It's all, people think about it's all like, oh, I have to do all these different exercises. No, if you actually just pick a few core ones and progress at them, you'll look absolutely amazing. So yeah, that question, I give a logical answer. I'm yet to find someone give a better answer than that.
Utilitarian, mate. No, that's what I would call it. No, that was sick. So mate, it's been a genuine absolute pleasure to have you on. For anybody else that's watching, is there anything that people can expect for you that's coming up? And where can people find you?
So I've got an event on in Marbella on June 7th, same as the one I did last year. Last year was called the Hybrid Entrepreneur Summit, or just be the same this year. But it's just when I bring a lot of CEOs and entrepreneurs, usually kind of in the fitness, finance scene, just very, very like-minded individuals. Just get them up on stage, speak about their journey, and then we just have a sick weekend in Marbella. So I've yet to put that live. It should be done in like 2 days. Of the website, the landing page live. So that's on June 7th. That'll be a lot of fun. And then apart from that, everything you can find, just YouTube Rob Lipsett, and you'll find me easily.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. And yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed this podcast, please give it a like, a nice big subscribe on YouTube if you're listening there. And stay tuned for the next one. Rob, thank you very, very much for your time.
Really appreciate it, Connor. Thanks so much.